Yo, new Mark Rober? What? Alright, we gotta watch this. I'm watching this. Hawk, can you hear me? Oh, this motherfucker ain't here. Alright.
I had 100 cockroaches here, and I placed them in
Alright, bro. We have to watch
I had 100
this.
cockroaches here, and I placed them in this James Bond-style contraption that turns this ball screw and forces them out after a specified time delay. And then I put it in a lunchbox for camouflage, and then I released them in this office. So you might think, that's not very nice, Mark.
Nah, that's
Some people are
fucking
afraid of
great.
cockroaches.
I love it.
Trust me, I know.
Oh, hell no!
And that's exactly
I
the
mean, I'm not
point,
gonna scare
because
like
this
that. I'll
isn't
squish
just
that
the
little
office.
fucker, though.
This is ground zero for one of those terrible call centers that scams people of their life savings. A year ago when I released this video about inadvertently stumbling onto the low-level thugs in this international scam
This shit was
operation, I
great,
said we were gonna
bruh.
glitter bomb our way all the way to the top, even if it meant taking this fight to the other side of the globe. And so after a year and a half of planning, we infiltrated not one, not two, not three, but 4 different scam call centers.
W,
We released
bruh.
cockroaches, smoke bombs, stink bombs, glitter bombs, and then of course we hacked their CCTV so we could watch the whole thing unfold in real time. So buckle up, because this is the
that a
wild
mouse?
conclusion to this multinational adventure. And
that a
please watch
fucking
to the
mouse?
end, because there's something you can actually do to help put the nail in the coffin of these 4 massive call centers. Now, why would we go after this $20 billion scam industry? Well, we're doing it for the 60 million people who've lost money to scammers in the past year. But more specifically, we're doing it for Bessie, who you might recall from my previous video when I detailed exactly how one of these scams worked.
You're like my granny, Miss Bessie. Do you know this?
Yes.
She was like one of my closest friends.
Oh.
I used to share each and everything with her.
Basically, it starts with an email or a spam call, then they pretend to be Amazon or Microsoft, and they tell the victim they've been charged $200 for something, but if you call back, you can dispute the charge. Then after they call, they eventually get on the victim's computer and importantly, have the victim type the $200 refund amount into a bogus form.
Please enter your refund amount.
Dude, I
Only they
remember
take
seeing
over
this
and
shit.
secretly type the amount of $20,000 and then they hit enter real quick.
Check everything. Is it correct?
Oh no, this is a mistake. Oh, I screwed up.
Oh, Jesus.
It was supposed to be a
Jesus
200 in there.
Christ.
Oh God Almighty. I'm exhausted. I can't do
Dude, this shit is so sad,
My mind
bro.
is
Ma'am, please
absolutely
check your
fried.
account. Please check your account. Did you really receive that money in your account?
Then they take her to a totally fake, spoofed bank account page where it looks like because of Bessie's mistake, they just sent her $20,000 instead of $200.
Oh my God. Plus 20,000.
Yeah.
Please save my job, ma'am. If I'll not earn for
Bro.
my family will die due to hunger, due to starvation. Oh, please,
Yes,
ma'am,
of course.
please don't
I mean,
cry. Please
what
don't
should
cry,
I
ma'am.
do? I
I'm
mean,
really
I can.
feeling bad
This
for you.
shit
You
is
are also
so
like my grandmother.
fucked.
You know, I'm
I can't
I'm
wait.
an honest
You are
person.
making me cry.
You fucking
making me cry now.
motherfucking bitch.
I'm
You
getting attached to
stupid
you.
fucking. Not the grandma, by the way. When I say bitch, I'm not talking about the grandma. I'm talking about that other motherfucker. Bro, I cannot wait for Mark Rober to. Motherfucker.
How do I fix
I'm
this?
just watching.
And now you can see how he's weaponized her empathy. Now to fix her mistake, how she'd be willing to go to the bank and withdraw what she thinks is an extra $20,000 in cash, when in reality,
Bro.
it's $20,000 of her hard-earned savings. And she's gonna send it in the mail to a heartless scammer. Now in case you think they've gotten a lot nicer over the last year, here's another call from a few weeks ago where the scam is to pretend they're from the government and there's some missing taxes that are owed.
I just retired, as I say, last February, and then I was diagnosed with breast cancer in August. So my retirement hasn't been very good so far. And after today, I know it's not your fault, but it's worse now.
Oh, I'm
But as
so
I say,
sorry
I
to
would
hear that.
rather just pay it. Otherwise, I'll be worrying about
Yeah,
this,
I'm
and
watching
I'll
some.
be worse in my health. You know what I mean?
Mark
Or
Rober
even
fucking
if I
up
have
scammers.
to pay
Dude.
it in 2 halves.
So the scammer places her on hold to talk with the authorities and to see if there's just something that can be done to help her out.
Thank you so much for holding the line, ma'am. I just had a word with the Har authorities, and I informed them about your situation, and they are also concerned about your health.
So concerned, in fact, she'll only have to send these
Bruh.
scammers $2,000.
The actual amount
Only
found out
2,000.
missing in the taxes is 1,489.
Now, last year's operation was effective in getting a handful of people involved in this scam. Not
You what?
not only covered in glitter, but also arrested. But the problem was, we discovered these were just the low-level mules and supervisors who would then send the bulk of the money back to the actual scammers in India. And while we did turn over all the intel we gathered to the 5 major government agencies that reached out to us to truly avenge Bessie, our goal was to take our glitter all the way to the top and either temporarily disrupt or possibly even permanently shut down a few of these terrible call centers. It'd be like a special operation. And every special operation needs a special ops team, a target, and a plan. For the team, I turn back to my good friend Jim Brown.
I love how with like every video, Mark Rober like breaks it down like scientifically, you know what I mean? He's like, he like approaches it as like, it's like a, you know what I mean? As like a scientist would or whatever the fuck. It's fucking great. I love it, dude. He's like starts breaking everything down into sections and shit.
Browning, who you recall from last year, has a YouTube channel that specializes in reversing the connection to the scammers' computers.
Wait, is this the guy?
And gaining access to their
Browning?
CCTV footage.
When is there anything else you want
I
to
think
add?
this is the guy. Yeah, this is the guy.
Scam people.
And then another YouTube channel called Trilogy Media would be the boots on the ground in India implementing
Exactly,
the prank.
Shane,
But more
like
on
it's
them
a
later.
legitimate
For the
mission,
target,
exactly,
together we were
bro.
able to locate and gather tons of incriminating information on 4 different scam call
Fuck
centers.
yeah.
For starters, there's Met Technologies located in Kolkata, India on the 5th floor of this building. They've been in operation over 12 years, and they've got over 1,000 agents. Their owner is Mr. Kunal Gupta, and you can even see the rest of their leadership team here on their public website. And you might ask, what?
Dude, he is just putting everybody on blast. Wow. Holy shit. How many views has this got already? 2 million!
Shit ton. Yeah.
Just today! Bro, these guys are fucked. Oh my god.
Call center have a public website. And
Shout
the
out to
answer
Mark
is they
Rober for
all
just
do,
showing
because
all
they have
their
a very
names.
small percentage of their employees do legitimate call center work. So if they get raided by the authorities, they can point to that small group and say their hands are clean, while the real money-making operation runs here behind a secure door. Then we found VRM, also located in Kolkata on the 12th floor of this building. They also have over 1,000 agents, and they've been in operation for 6 years, and they run 24 hours a day in 3 shifts to target people in time zones all across the globe. Oh, and allow me to introduce to the world Rajesh and Vidya Goenka, the husband and wife co-owners. Next was Anj Info Solutions on the 5th floor
Good
of
to
this
know.
building. They also run 3 shifts, 24 hours a day,
He's just
and
showing-
they've been up and running for 11.
You can just go there. You know what I mean? Like, look at the video and be like, oh, that window. You know what I mean? Like, he's just showing exactly where the fuck it is.
11 years with all their key info shown here. They're located just a block away from
Bro,
VRM.
no
In fact,
shot.
all 3 of these centers were located within just a few miles of each other here in Kolkata, India, which is a hot spot for scam call centers like this. And finally, there was one more we located, but we're not releasing public information on them yet, and you'll see why in just a little bit. And so once we'd amassed mountains of evidence against all 4 of them thanks to Jim's handiwork, we hired 10 private investigator types to apply for jobs at each of these centers, and after a few weeks, we had them all in place. Now, in order for them not to arouse suspicion, they had to legitimately scam some people, but we told them to remember the victim's information, and then we would reach out and double any money that was lost. And at first, one of our
Nice, that's
agents in the
a W.
VRM call center
Actual
went against
genius.
protocol and used his phone
Have you
to
seen this
capture
with
some
the-
footage for us of
Haven't seen
the bathrooms and the server rack and whatever this
guy.
is. But they must have seen him filming with his phone on their CCTV, because the next day, some of the security team showed up at his house. Now, luckily, his roommate knew to lie and say he wasn't home, and he was able to escape through the back alley. But
That's
they stayed out in
fucking
front of his
monka
house
ass.
all day and later sent this message saying the director wanted to speak with him.
Wait, hold up. I'm reading this shit. You got me fucked up. You think I'm not reading
Later
this whole
sent
message.
this message.
Hey, we have heard about your whereabouts from. To make a deal with you, the MD and company would like to have a word with you.
That's
Yes.
sketch.
He has come down right now. Wait, he has. The payment will be handsome, and there's nothing to be worried or scared about. Bruh, you can't end your sentence with that, and then spam 1 minute after, come to the office and make a gentleman's leave. No word, just 1 minute after, like, oh, that sounds a bit sus, and then put one more. Come down to the office and we'll make a deal right away. 2 minutes. And by the way, can I have a glimpse of the proof that you have against us? Wait, what? Hello?
Message saying the director wanted to speak with him, and they would
Payment.
pay him
Oh my god,
handsomely,
what the
and of
fuck?
course, he didn't need to be scared. They were just simply curious what kind of evidence he'd gathered against them already.
just
So
simply
from that point on,
curious.
we reiterated to the remaining 9 to lay really low like a sleeper cell until we were ready to activate the plan. And speaking of the plan, now that we saw what we were up against, we knew we'd have to go full James Bond Q mode with some high-tech gadgetry that
Fuck
could make
yeah.
it past security.
Yep, you're
Which
gonna
is why this
definitely
first
need that.
prank is just a water bottle. Kind of. I mean, it can function as a normal water bottle, but if you unscrew just this portion of the lid, it reveals a trough. And if you put military-grade putrid-smelling stuff in that trough and then screw the lid back on fully, it creates a perfect seal and you can't smell anything. But then at the exact precise moment you want to release a cloud of death, you just twist the lid like this, allowing the smell to escape through these holes and fill the room. And we're using a water bottle because from looking at the CCTV footage, we know they allow them to have water bottles at their desks, so they'll be able to sneak them past security. Plus, no one's going to suspect that's the origin of the smell. Next up, if you take some hand soap and add just a few drops of the same kitchen-grade food coloring we used on the Devil's Toothpaste explosion,
No shot,
and when you
bro.
wash your hands, it will leave them stained for at least a day. We'll leave this in
No chance, bro. This motherfucker's got blue hands. No
and when you
shot.
wash your hands,
This is
it
the
will leave
best
them
one by
stained
far.
for at least a day. We'll leave this in the bath.
That's the best one by far, bro. Look at that motherfucker's hands, dude.
Wash your hands.
Can you imagine?
We'll leave them stained for at least a day.
Oh
We'll leave this
my
in the bathroom. As a
god.
bonus, we'll learn exactly who does and doesn't wash their hands. This next one is the most simple, but also perhaps the most
Wow.
effective. You take a box of Sudafed and then print out and paste on some of these labels and convert it to a box of Viagra. Then importantly, you add the name of the boss of the scam call center to the box, like it's his prescription. And then you leave it in the bathroom next to your blue soap. Next up is that custom-built box that can store
Why'd they put
cockroaches in.
Viagra?
So after a predetermined time delay, the microcontroller will trigger the stepper motor, which causes the wall to slide along this ball screw. That means if you disguise it in a lunchbox, then nothing happens until the timer expires. And then suddenly, you get a bunch of cockroaches crawling out of a lunchbox.
Oh.
So more than just cockroaches in here. And some other ideas we had were bees, because we heard India has
Bees?
some species that don't actually sting, as well as possibly
Bro,
rats, because
what?
we already knew from looking
Throw
at their
some
security
hornets in
footage
there?
that once released, the rats can make themselves
Oh
right
my
at
God,
home.
look at
And
that
using
rat.
a lunchbox for camouflage is once again a strategic
This is
choice.
the
because
greatest
we already
video
knew
I've
from
ever
our
seen.
recon work, they always make it past security because no one actually checks what's inside. Next up, I love the idea of the chaos that could result if we set off a smoke bomb. But we were concerned that might be
Smoke
crossing
bomb,
a line
hello?
if the room was too small because like the glitter bombs, I want everything I do to be exciting, but at the end of the day, relatively harmless.
Bro,
so
fuck
instead,
it.
we
Nah.
found these micro foggers
It
that
can
are
be a little
basically like
harmless.
massive
Or it can
vape
be- it can
pens.
cause a little
We also
harm.
noticed motorcycle helmets were allowed onto the floor and passed. This isn't an ordinary package. It's Glitter Bomb 4.0, which of course, as we all
Wait,
know,
no
is
shot.
equivalent to a pound
Glitter
of the
Bomb-
world's finest glitter and an
W.
uncharitable amount of fart spray.
W. Glitter Bomb 4.0, baby.
And so now that our team, target, and plan were in place,
Dude, it's
after
been
1.5
so long
years of
since I've
prep
watched a
work,
Mark
it was time to
Rober video.
avenge Bessie and execute the special
That's a
operation
nice
package. Only this isn't an ordinary package. It's Glitter Bomb. And so now that our team, target, and plan were in place, after 1.5 years of prep work, it was time to avenge Bessie and execute the special operation.
Fuck yeah.
Step one was getting the Trilogy media guys all the way over to India with all the contraptions stored securely in their luggage.
My guys stepping foot on Indian soil.
Now safely on the ground, step two was to go pick up those stingless bees that we could put in the lunchbox.
Stingless
but once they'd
bees?
arrived to the beekeeper,
Bro,
they
fuck
found
that.
out you
Get
can't
some
just take a
hornets.
few bees, but you have to take the whole hive.
In the car. Dude, no. They're gonna get out. I'm not afraid.
Also, apparently, there's no such thing as stingless bees.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's what I thought, motherfucker.
So we punted on that idea and
Aw,
headed to an open air
no.
market where we could at least secure some rats.
They didn't get the bees? Come on, bro. That's fucking dumb. I'm upset.
By the way,
Rats.
the Trilogy Media YouTube channel is composed of Ashton, who's a former magician, and Art, who played professional basketball in Russia for 8 years. They're just an incredible duo. And speaking of incredible things, this is a good time to point out that the real people of India were just so freaking lovely. It's true that nearly every scam call you get originates from that country, but everyone in India hates these scammers too. They are a tiny, tiny fraction of the total population, and no one wants to be defined by the worst in their midst. Most people we
W.
interacted with there had hearts more like Johnny, who's an honorary member of the team and a reformed scammer who's made it his life's mission to do whatever whatever he can to take these guys down, even if that means working some back channels to get our hands on 100 cockroaches.
All right, let's go.
So with the goods procured, it was time to meet up with our
100
sleeper agents at the
cockroaches,
hotel to do some final prep on the
Imagine if
contraptions,
those just
which went
accidentally
about
got
as
out.
well as expected.
Seriously though, are we gonna test it right here? Right here?
They got a little cage of mice. They got 100 cockroaches. Like, they're ready, bro. They're about to cause
Imagine you
havoc.
see them just like walking around. and
I
shit.
know,
Like, what are
right?
you about to do,
No,
bro?
we just got our pets. These are our pets.
We got our pets.
We feed the cockroaches to the mice.
Yeah, you can't do it in the bathroom.
16, 17,
Yeah, no, get him in. Oh,
18,
yeah, yeah.
19.
More the merrier.
Oh, motherfucker, they're getting no! Ah!
Okay.
Ew, bro! Yeah, how did they think that was gonna go? Oh my god! Bro, they're fucking idiots. Literal idiots.
Okay, pause. Pause. Accounted for, right? Everyone?
I swear, I would not let you down.
We decided the first call center
No
we hit
shot.
would be Anch, and we were feeling optimistic
There's
about
no
our
chance
chances.
they got every single one.
And that's exactly when our special operation
They were laughing like
received
that,
its
bro. I'm
first
sorry,
major
there's no
blow.
chance.
So apparently there's this WhatsApp group that 55,000 scammers all across India belong to, so the different scam call centers
Damn,
can
what the
communicate
hell?
with each other.
Hello?
And because Johnny was still a member
55,000?
of this group from his former days, he saw this message pop up. Two of us in the town of Kolkata have seen cuss word trilogy people. We followed them, but the driver drove the car very fast to the Salt Lake side. There was 2 Indians with them, and they were shooting a movie. So apparently some scammers had recognized Art and Ashton at the market as the Trilogy Media YouTube guys, because they've confronted a lot of scammers in their 5 years of making videos. Now thankfully, just out of habit, Johnny was driving in a way that would make it hard for anyone to tail them, but they still
Damn,
were
this
able to
motherfucker's
pinpoint
mobbing.
their hotel location within about a half a mile. But then it
Bro,
got much worse.
that would scare. Why did my character just talk?
Yeah, we need to
Ashton at the market as the Trilogy Media YouTube guys, because they've confronted a lot of scammers in their 5 years of making videos. Now thankfully, just out of habit, Johnny was driving in a way that would make it hard for anyone to tail them, but they still were able to
Yeah, I got you.
pinpoint their hotel location within about a half a mile. But then it got much worse. Might be they are working with the FBI, so I request all of our brothers to have an eye in Salt Lake, so whenever you see them, you shoot them. Which was
What?
super devastating, because it seemed pretty clear to me that we'd
Damn,
have to
bro.
scrap the whole operation, because while the mission was important, it definitely wasn't worth anyone getting hurt. But when I brought this up to the guys, they'd already discussed it amongst themselves and decided this was a cause they were passionate about, that they were willing to accept some risks. So we decided moving forward, Art and Ashton
Oh
wouldn't
my
step a
God.
foot outside their hotel room, and that's when the second major blow came. Because apparently the group text warning spooked the call scam center so much, they just changed up everyone's assignments, and they were planning on moving all 3 of our sleeper agents to a new floor where there was no CCTV coverage. But this is where we had a stroke of luck, because the last minute, Johnny thought to have another one of his reformed scammer friends apply for a job. And because he had so much experience on his resume, they hired him on the spot and gave him a more highly trusted role, which meant he could be the one to smuggle in all our gadgets. And so with that, he loaded
Nice,
up,
G-shit.
headed in for battle, and an hour later, we had a man on the inside. And by the way, now that we're inside, I'll give you a very quick crash course on what we've learned about how these scam centers operate after watching them for so long.
Alright, let's go.
First of all, 90% of the victims are 65 years old or above.
I
Damn.
don't understand that. I don't understand all of this.
They really only make calls during the US working day hours and not on the weekends, because that maximizes their chance the person who picks up will be retired. This is why you never get scam calls on Sunday. They don't have anyone even working the phones. In fact, many of them have an auto dial prompt that says press 1 if you're over 65 years old, and if you press anything else, it just hangs up. The most common scam is the Amazon refund scam, but they also pretend to be Microsoft, McAfee, Norton Antivirus, the IRS, and your bank, and on and on. It's always changing, but it's also always something you've heard of to try and build trust right out of the gate. If you want to know how much they make, well, that information unfortunately is securely held on the boss's computer, so we can't get to it. Although, I suppose
Millions.
if you had access
It's
to
gotta
the
be
internal
millions.
cameras, you could just watch the boss type his password, and then you'd be
Oh
able to
my
access their
God, no
master tracking
shot.
spreadsheets, which is what we did, and how we know these large call centers make $60,000 per day. That's $18 million a year.
Oh!
Take the initial call.
It so slowly.
Wait till you see that.
Whoa.
Yeah! Yeah! A year! I told you they were making millions! Bruh, what the fuck?
I thought they were making like What?
Oh my god. Bro, I love how he's like, well, if you wanted to do this, you probably just do this. And that's exactly what we did, you know what I mean? That shit's fucking hilarious.
And how we know these large call
That's
centers
insane.
make
Holy
$60,000 per day. That's $18 million a year. An opener will take the initial calls and they
60
make an
grand
average
a
of
day.
$7,000 a month. Then if they keep the victim on the phone long enough, they hand it over to a closer and they make on average $15,000 a month.
Dude,
they never
what
say
the
the word
fuck?
scam or victim, instead referring to them as sales and customers. That way they just seem more like a normal office. Although what I think does that job more convincingly are all the walls plastered with inspirational corporate words like synergy or management or process. So that's your crash course on how they operate. And the
Nice.
FTC has put out a list of 4 signs to help spot a scam and 4 things you can do to protect against them. And I'll link to it in the video description. And so now without further ado, we kicked things off with the stink bomb water bottle. And while that was marinating, he went to the bathroom and dropped off the hand soap and the special medication with the boss's name written on the front. And it didn't take long for us to get our first hit on the smell. What was great though is they all kind of covered their noses subtly in silence so the people next to them wouldn't feel accused. Well, for the most part. Then a few minutes later, we had our first bathroom customer who clearly doesn't wash her hands after using the restroom. But then we had a second chance with an
Damn.
apparently more hygienic scammer, and this time we struck pay dirt as he comes out trying to figure out what the heck just happened. And 5 minutes later, you could see him still trying to work it out. And not long after that, we got our first mention of the special package in the bathroom. The audio cut out here, but our agent told us they were laughing and wondering how the boss could possibly leave that lying around. Although it certainly doesn't feel too far off brand, given he uses this as his profile pic on Facebook. And at this point, our agent placed and then triggered the time delay countdown
not
on the cockroach.
Facebook.
And at this point, our agent uses this as his
Bruh.
This might have to be the thumbnail, bro.
profile pic on Facebook. And at this point, our agent placed and then triggered
No
the time delay
chance.
countdown on the cockroach, rat, and smoke bomb traps, so we can now safely make his getaway.
Oh.
Go, go,
You
go.
okay? You safe?
Bro, look how they're driving. Oh my god.
And since they, of course, have no
That's
idea what's about to
fucking
happen,
scary.
they're still just casually talking about the bathroom. And then a few moments later, the first boxes must have triggered because this guy notices a cockroach and nopes his way out of there. And then he's quickly followed by the second dude. And I love it because now you just randomly see cockroaches start coming in frame. And so now that they know what they're
Yo.
up against, they call in the reinforcements with a mop.
A mop?
But it
Yeah,
looks
you'll
like you
get
missed one. Or two.
Or 2, or 3,
Or 3.
Or 4.
Actually 4.
5.
Scratch that. 5. And then as if perfectly on cue, right as the mop guy finishes his cleanup, the smoke begins. And this causes quite a commotion and draws quite a crowd, and it takes them a while, but they're eventually able to pinpoint the source of the smoke and gingerly take it off the premises. Followed soon thereafter by our rat friends. And this is possibly
Dude,
my favorite
everything's
clip of
just
the whole
getting
night,
out.
where you
It's
see a
sick.
cockroach lead the way and wander all around as they argue and try and make sense of what in the world is possibly happening. And by this point, you can tell the boss is pretty sure they're under attack, but just to remove any sense of doubt, we sent them one final package. And they
W,
almost opened
the
it
glitter
right there, but I guess
bomb.
with everything else that had already happened so far
Please.
that night, they took it downstairs.
Oh, you
and then this
fucking
happened.
bitch. Oh, if they would have opened that inside. God damn it.
You guys give up, or you're thirsty for more?
Yeah, in fact, there's 4 of them, and they're uploading this footage to the cloud.
He said, yeah, in fact, there's 4. We each get hit with glitter and more fart spray, dummy. Stupid.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Activation complete.
Dude, that shit's
Recovery
fucked.
sequence initiated.
Having it count down like that. Oh my god, my ears. There's no way that boy just sniffed it. Oh no.
So after our incredibly successful special operation,
Yo, that
we
was
waited to see
sick.
what
Where's
the
the next
response would
ones?
be. And we didn't have to wait long. Yesterday, those cuss words sent Anch Solutions a package bomb. And it
bomb,
exploded,
wow.
and there was a bad smell and sprinkler
It was a
water
bomb,
or
was
whatever
it?
it
Wow.
was. These guys are playing good with us. I am reminding you guys, they must be in between us. We don't even know. And now we had them because they were paranoid and they didn't know which of their employees might have been compromised. Check the lunch boxes, pocket bags, shoes, ladies' purse as well. Even check the water, whether there's some color mixed in it. I assume he's referring to the soap dye here.
Yeah, the
But be
soap.
cautious, guys, seriously. They came to bad word all of us, and they're still trying to bust us. After that, there were a few more death threats, so we didn't think it was safe enough to launch our attacks on the other 3
Damn,
centers to try and get
jeez.
them shut down. But the beautiful thing is, we didn't have to. Big centers in Kolkata and Delhi are closed from today, as well as Monday, as per the information I got from all my friends. We had created enough confusion and mass panic that not only did the other 3 centers get shut down, but we got all the large scam centers all across India shut down for a few days too. And if you add
W.
it up, that means those tiny cockroaches stopped $2 million from going from the victims to the scumbags. And I would say that's the perfect ending, but it actually gets even a little better. Once Ashton and Art were safely back home on American soil, they decided to troll that text group with those 55,000 scammers by uploading this gem to the chat.
Surprise, surprise, scammers! Martin over here.
No matter how
No
many numbers
shot.
you remove from this group, we're still watching. Not only that, we've also downloaded every single person's contact information.
Oh, no!
This group, we have every single one of your
Oh,
contact information. We're
fucking
submitting it to
God.
The FBI in the United States and the CBI here in India. So you guys better run and you better watch out.
And so if you want to see
Fucking God. No chance.
how quickly the scammers started removing themselves from the chat group,
Good
as well
fucking
as a lot
shit.
more details of all their work on the ground over
That's
in India,
fucking
you
good
should go
shit.
check out their video. And not surprisingly, Anch and the other scam call centers eventually opened back up, albeit this time with
Get
much tighter
fucking
security.
got,
But they
bitch.
still didn't, and still don't realize probably till this moment, that we have access to their live camera feeds. So Jim improvised a bit, calling them out by their real names without giving away the fact he was just looking at them on the camera.
Yeah, hi sir. My name is Carolina Fernandez. I am calling you from the Microsoft.
Oh, hi, Priya.
Ooh.
Hi.
Who are you?
I'm a ghost.
Idiot.
Yeah, I don't
Do
know
you
what.
know my father's
I'm
name?
a
I don't know, but
ghost.
is your father proud of you? What you do? Does he think you work for Microsoft?
Yes, of course.
But you don't work for Microsoft. Did you
Oh my
tell him that?
gosh.
Will I tell you one
Fair
more
enough.
name?
Yes. tell me.
Soini. At least talk to me.
They're laughing, bro.
Hello?
He also
They're all
managed to
laughing
change the
and
way their
smiling,
voices
like,
sound
you
when
guys
they do
about- you
outbound
got-
calls
who are
to their
you?
potential victims.
Who are you? May I know who I speak with? Who are you?
You're speaking very strangely. What's up?
So to see a lot more of that quality entertainment, you should go check out his video. So after all that,
Oh,
we're
we
sort
need to
of
go
in a
watch
good
his
news,
video
bad news
now.
situation.
Fuck.
The good news is that because of some developments we've been involved in, the 4th center here is going to be raided by the authorities in India and shut down very, very soon. The
Fuck
bad news
yeah,
is that
get
these
got.
other 3 are still
Stupid.
very operational. And for reasons I can't say here, we don't have the same option to get them shut down like we do on the 4th one. Now you might ask, why not just privately reach out to the proper authorities in Kolkata where these 3 call centers are located? And the answer is, that's been tried before and it didn't work. While there are many good apples, there are a few bad apples that prevent anything from happening to these guys. So where does that leave us? Well, as they say, sunshine is a great disinfectant, and here's where you come in. We've invested a lot of resources and time and tried to make this
Now
video
he's
as
gonna try to get
entertaining
the
as
whole
possible
fucking
in the hopes that
community,
you'll
yep.
consider sharing it for 2 reasons. Number 1, the
Here
more
we
people
go,
are aware of how these scams
motherfucker.
work, the less effective they become and they lose their power. So please share it, especially with your older loved ones. And number 2, the more people that see this video and learn about these 3 specific call centers, the more the press will pick it up, especially in India. Heck, tweet our videos to the Kolkata police. This helps out the good apples because the bad ones can't just sweep all the evidence under the rug or quietly tip off the scam center bosses. The press and public can hold them accountable. We've
I wonder
seen
how many
this
tweets
tactic
they
work
got, bro.
successfully in the past, and we have mountains of evidence against all these scam
He's
centers.
putting
If you are
everything
with the
on
press
blast,
or a law
bro.
enforcement agency,
I wonder if
send
he's
us
trending
an
on
email
Twitter.
to callcenterevidencepack@gmail.com,
You think
and
he
we'll
is?
share everything we have with you. If you combine them, these 3 centers have been in operation an astounding 29 years. years, and they're still scamming people of their life savings to this day, even right now as we release this video. So let's see what we can do. And depending on exactly what happens, I'll either post a follow-up video here on my YouTube channel or on my other social channels, so subscribe and all that stuff if you want to stay in the loop. Glitter bombs and cockroaches are just harmless entertainment, but our best chance of working together to shut these guys down for good is by shining a light to foster some accountability. Thanks for your help. Now let's make Bessie proud.
Damn, I didn't see that.
I want to thank NordVPN.
Damn, what a good ass fucking video though. That was a fucking banger, bro.